Unit 4, CA Violations, Complaints, and Disciplinary Actions. Lesson 1, Common California Real Estate License Law Violations. Lesson 2, CA Complaint Process. Lesson 3, Real Estate Licensee Disciplinary Actions. Lesson 4, California's Real Estate Recovery Account. Lesson 5, CA License Law Wrap-Up. California License Law. Study Sheet. Real estate activities. Activities requiring a license, performing real estate activities for others and for compensation. Note, for others, for compensation is key. Common activities include selling, buying, leasing, exchanging, listing properties, or offering to, negotiating a sale, purchase, or exchange of real property, soliciting buyers, sellers, tenants, landlords, and listings. Violations, complaints, and disciplinary actions. Most common violations: trust fund violations, shortages, commingling, record keeping, failure of brokers to properly supervise, unlicensed individuals, assistants, performing licensed activities, misrepresentation, disciplinary actions, license revocation, suspension, restriction, other penalties, education, fines, return of property, complaint process, complaint filed with DRE. Investigation, if DRE has jurisdiction and complaint is a real estate law violation. Informal hearing. Formal hearing. Recovery account. Last resort for victims of licensee violations to obtain payment. Two types of licenses, broker and salesperson. The salesperson must be employed and supervised by a licensed broker. Salespersons must be at least 18, be honest and truthful, complete education requirements, and pass an examination. Brokers must be at least 18, be honest and truthful, complete education requirements, have at least 2 years experience in real estate, and pass an examination. Licenses must be renewed every 4 years. Licensees must complete 45 hours of continuing education during this period. Licensees work at a real estate brokerage, which can be a sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation. Each must contain at least one licensed real estate broker under which real estate activities are conducted. Certain individuals need not obtain a license to perform real estate activities, those performing real estate activities for themselves, attorneys providing legal services to clients, persons acting under court order, among others. Licensees can utilize unlicensed assistants, who cannot perform any activities requiring a real estate license. Real estate law and authorities. DRE administers license law and issues licenses. The Real Estate Commissioner, who is appointed by the Governor, presides over the Real Estate Advisory Commission. Real Estate Advisory Commission has 10 members, all appointed by the Commissioner. 6 are licensed brokers, 4 are unlicensed consumers. Licensees must follow real estate law and regulations of the Real Estate Commissioner. California's Real Estate Recovery Account. The Real Estate Recovery Account compensates victims who haven't been able to collect payment awarded to them from the court and owed by the licensee at fault. The account is funded by using a percentage of licensee's licensing fees, and compensates in cases of fraud or intent to defraud, misrepresentation, deceit, theft, conversion of trust funds. Victims must apply to receive payment within 1 year of the date of judgment or restitution order. If the application is denied, victims have 6 months to appeal the decision. Payments from the account are limited to $50,000 per transaction, $250,000 per licensee. Licensees must pay back any amounts paid from the account, plus interest. Their license will be suspended until this is repaid. Real estate licensee disciplinary actions. Suspended license. Licensee must generally complete certain actions or conditions before license becomes active again. Revoked license. Licensee must wait at least 1 year, or longer, if stated by the Commissioner, before applying for reinstatement. Restricted license. Licensee cannot renew license until the restriction is lifted. Restrictions may include term employment by specific broker, actions limited to specific areas, or other requirements, reports, bonds. Other penalties. Education. Fines. Return of documents or property. Common California real estate license law violations. The most common real estate license violations are described in sections 10176 and 10177 of Real Estate Law and Subdivided Lands Law. These violations include, but are not limited to, making substantial misrepresentations, false promises, failure to disclose, commingling a licensee's money with money received in trust for another, not including a termination date in a listing, not disclosing personal interest in a transaction, or compensation received to a principal, entering into an option agreement without disclosing the amount of profit to the employer, fraud or dishonest dealing, writing up a purchase, lease, rental, or exchange of a business opportunity property without obtaining authorization from the owner of the property to offer the property for sale, lease, exchange, or rent. Failing to disburse funds in accordance with a mortgage loan commitment when the broker is acting as the lender or lender's representative. Intentionally delaying the closing of a mortgage loan in order to increase charges to the borrower. Source, Section 10176. Procuring or attempting to procure a real estate license or renewal by deceit. Entering a plea of guilty or no contest, or being found guilty or convicted of a felony related to the qualifications for the profession of real estate licensee, with the appeals process exhausted. Advertising that the licensee has certification, designations or membership in organizations that the licensee does not have. False advertising concerning a business opportunity or land or subdivision. Demonstrated negligence or incompetence in performing licensed activities. As a broker, failure to exercise reasonable supervision over the activities of associated salespersons. While employed by a governmental agency in a capacity giving access to records, use of those records, other than public records, in a manner that violates the confidential nature of the records. Fraud or dishonest dealing. Violating restrictions in an order granting a restricted license. Fair housing violations. Violated the Franchise Investment Law, Division 5, commencing with Section 31,000 of Title 4 of the Corporations Code, or regulations of the Commissioner of Corporations pertaining thereto. Violations of the Corporate Securities Law of 1968, Division 1, commencing with Section 25,000 of Title 4 of the Corporations Code, or the regulations of the Commissioner of Corporations pertaining thereto. Failure to disclose personal ownership interest or special relationship interest in property to a buyer of that property.